Hello everyone, welcome to the next section of the course, Keystone Identity Service. In this section, we will cover Authentication in Action and Project Scope on the Horizon dashboard and CLI. Then we will learn Exam Objective, which will include managing quotas, managing users. We will learn to create domains, projects, groups, roles, and manage the service catalog, services, and endpoints. Now we move on to the first video of this section that deals with Keystone. In this video, we are going to explore about Keystone and its architecture. Then in the later part, we will get a detailed idea about authentication and authorization. All users and services rely on Keystone. Without Keystone, users would not have the ability to properly authenticate and create virtual machines, networks, and other resources. Before we begin to dive into the details of Keystone, let's take a moment to think about the concepts of authentication and authorization. These two words are sometimes misused, so let's look at the proper definition. Authentication is the act of confirming the identity of a specific user. Authorization is the function of determining access rights for that specific user. All OpenStack users are required to authenticate to Keystone via the Horizon dashboard, command line interface, CLI, SDK, or directly to the API. Once a user is authenticated, Keystone is not involved in determining the user's access rights. This authorization is handled by a file called policy.json, and it lives in each installed OpenStack services configuration directory. Let's take a brief look at the Keystone architecture. Keystone is the common authentication system across the entire cloud, receiving more requests than any other OpenStack service. In this image, you can see that the Apache daemon is bound to port 5000 and is the primary gateway to Keystone. All users and services rely on Keystone for authentication. The OpenStack environment's relational database management system, typically MariaDB, a fork of MySQL, contains a Keystone database that stores data for all the various Keystone resources. In this video, we discovered about Keystone and its architecture, along with the details about authentication or authorization.